Good Saturday morning. Matt Ray, KGO Radio 810. 415-808-0810 is the number, 808810. You can also chime in on Twitter at Matt Ray Talk. Did the DEA go too far by creating a fake Facebook page of a woman who was busted for drugs? Basically, they were trying to trick people to send in tips about this thing. The DEA is now getting sued for it. I'm not a legal expert, nor do I play one on TV. That is why I always get a hold of Brian Bouffard. He is a legal expert. The website is bouffardlaw.com. Good morning, Brian. Thanks for joining us here on KGO.
Hey, Matt. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for joining us, as always. What about this? First of all, give us a little bit of background on what the DEA did with this Facebook page and who they were trying to impersonate and what they were trying to do.
Yeah, apparently they had a case involving someone they had arrested on some kind of a drug charge, and that's that's pretty normal. That's their job. And in the course of the investigation, that person, the suspect or who's going to become the defendant, gave them permission to search for some evidence on her phone, and that's also fairly routine.
Sure. What
she did not consent to allow them to do is to go through her phone, take a bunch of her personal pictures and things like that off the phone, and create a fake profile on social media in an attempt to impersonate her and make cases against other people without her knowledge and without her permission. And among the many things that are wrong with that is the fact that that's a real good way to get somebody killed. And the fact that they didn't and don't seem to care about that is a real problem.
Yeah. Well, go into that. Get somebody killed. I mean, how would that happen?
Well, I mean, they're putting her out there and making statements on social media that purport to come from her, and to apparently make contact with other people and do drug buys and things like that.
Yeah.
And the analogy here would be like if the police had a search warrant for your home, looking for a piece of evidence, and a judge has authorized that, and so they come in and they do their search. And then while they're in your home, they find a bunch of your framed photos of you and your family, and they take those and use them to impersonate you. It's unconscionable. And the fact that they can even, with a straight face, think that this is okay, to me, it just illustrates, a lot of our problem with government in general and law enforcement in general.
Yeah. This seems the equivalent of, obviously they did it digitally, but when you flip, somebody and make them turn witness or catch somebody else, it seems like without this digital part of it, it would seem like a cop just getting on the phone and saying, hey, this is Gina, you want to meet up, and I want to, I mean, that's basically what it is without the digital, and it seems like they're getting, not getting away with it, but it seems like they attempted it because of everything else that's going on with the digital age here, and the spying and the cell phone traps and all of that.
Right, and they essentially made her an undercover informant without even telling. I mean, without her knowledge. And if they had said, hey, we've got a case against you, we feel like we could use you to flip and get us some big fish, and in exchange for that, we could recommend that your charges be reduced. I mean, that's the kind of thing that's done all the time. And if two parties are negotiating, even though one of them is probably a bit over a barrel, at least there, you can look at that and say, well, it was her choice. But this apparently took place completely without her knowledge.
Wow. Just
some rogue DEA agent who either did or did not have authority from his higher folks to do that. And again, there's tons of problems with it. But to me, it's just one more thing that illustrates this culture of impunity that our government feels that because it has the power to do things, that it's okay for them to do anything that they want. And
sure.
We should all be very concerned and even pretty frightened of a government that takes that attitude.
Hey, Brian, can I get you to hold on through the break? And I have a few more questions about this case and where it goes from here, if that's okay.
Definitely.
All right.
Always.
Brian Bouffard is a legal expert, our guest here on KGO. We'll take your calls coming up out of the break, too. KGO News Time is 11:41. Good Saturday morning. Matt Ray, KGO Radio 810. 415-808-0810 is the number. Did the DEA go too far in creating a fake Facebook page based on a woman who had been busted in a drug deal? She had been busted, and the DEA said, all right, well, we're going to set up a Facebook page and hope to get some information on this drug ring. Our guest is Brian Bouffard, legal expert. The website is bouffardlaw.com. Brian, you were saying it's completely out of bounds. What is the DEA saying about this, and what is the woman saying about this?
You know, I think they're being rather tight-lipped at the moment with litigation pending. But, I mean, to me, it sounds like this woman is going to have a pretty solid civil case against the DEA. And you know, just from the perspective of a concerned citizen, if nothing else, I hope she prevails, because I think this is the kind of thing that has to be nipped in the bud. And you know, I mean, it's government overreaching writ large. It really is.
Do you see the DEA? I mean, is this just one guy that did this? I mean, is it one agent that did this, or do we know if others were involved?
I'm not sure. I haven't read stories on that. Whether that's been, you know, released or not, I'm not aware.
Yeah. This is some scary stuff. I mean, given the extent to which cops can just, you know, seize your phones, they can seize your computers. Who knows what else has been done with them?
Exactly. And you know, I mean, just speaking personally, I mean, yeah, I'm a criminal defense attorney, so you know, you could argue that I have a particular bent on something like this. But what I really am is I'm somebody who truly believes in not just the letter, but also the spirit of our Constitution. And the Constitution was written in large part to help protect the individual from the vast resources and power of the government. And
sure.
over the decades, you know, our rights have been and continue to be curtailed. And so I would, you know, I know many of your listeners, you know, would at least profess to be small government conservatives, and I just would want to respectfully challenge them. I mean, if you truly believe in small government, let's look at reducing the size of the part of government that locks people in cages and sometimes
right.
shoots them down in the street.
Yeah. This is just scary stuff. Now, it's not uncommon for law enforcement to use somebody's social media page, though, in a case against them, right?
That's certainly true. I mean, you know, if somebody's a criminal defendant in almost any case, it's definitely in bounds to go to their social media site and take, you know, things that they post or things that they say. That's all fair game, you know, assuming it's done properly, because those are statements that somebody is putting out there for public consumption. And you know, again, in this case, the problem with it is not so much the fact that they sought to do this, but the fact that they just went ahead and did it without even telling this person.
This is scary
you know,
stuff,
I mean,
yeah.
it is not overstating it to say that this is the kind of thing that could get somebody killed.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I appreciate your time as always. Thanks so much.
Anytime, Matt.
All right. That's Brian Bouffard. The website is bouffardlaw.com.